The New York Giants worked out a veteran defensive tackle today. We're going to break that down, and we got to talk about Arvell Reese as he is putting on a show at Giants OTAs. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we are presented by Prize Picks. Here at Chat Sports, I also host our New York Knicks channel as well, and we are going to the NBA Finals. And if you're a Knicks fan and you didn't know, we just released our Eastern Conference Finals T-shirts, champion T-shirts, as we get ready to go to the NBA Finals. If you're a Knicks fan and you're not subscribed to Knicks Now by Chat Sports, change it. First, though, get your T-shirts today, chatsports.com/Knicks Now. Support the brand, support the company. It means a lot to us. Giants.com did a write-up on Arvell Reese and what they've been seeing from him at OTAs, and Matt Sitak, I believe is how you say it. Probably butchered that. I apologize. Sitak, maybe. Arvell Reese was all over the field. It started with very strong coverage during 7-on-7 drills. Later, during 11-on-11s, Reese sniffed out a screen pass to Tracy. The number 5 overall pick has put his speed and athleticism on full display over the first week of OTAs. And Jordan Raanan of ESPN got to go to OTAs last week as well and said Arvell Reese, very impressive in coverage. Dude can run for his size. We all know and believe that Arvell Reese is going to be able to be a run-stopping inside linebacker. Of all the traits, skills that he has, his ability to play sideline to sideline and make tackles near the line of scrimmage is one that I do truly believe in. I think he needs to become a little bit better when it comes to diagnosing plays and speeding that up. That's going to take time. He's only been playing, or he's still only just 20 years old. But I think we all maybe it's just me, I kind of worried about his coverage a little bit. When I watched the tape, I viewed a guy that was much better going forward and side to side than backward. But to hear from two people that he looks good in coverage, I think that's a major, major boost and a really exciting thing to hear for the New York Giants as well. These OTAs, they're like passing camps. There's not a lot of tackling, not a lot of thumping, not a lot of contact. And for Reese to stand out in coverage, I think that means something. Giants.com also did like a really nice piece where they had 3 of their writers do one piece together, and it was titled Fact or Fiction. And the prompt was, linebacker Arvell Reese is the most physically impressive rookie you have seen up close at the start of his Giants career. And John Schmelk answered that by saying, fact. When Tremaine Edmonds walked into the facility for the first time as a free agent, I was gobsmacked by how big he was. He had a bigger frame than Kayvon Thibodeau. He was not a small edge rusher. Arvell Reese is built much like Tremaine Edmonds. The two men stand next to each other behind the line of scrimmage at linebacker, and you have to blink to make sure the Giants don't have 2 smaller defensive ends lined up as stand-up rushers. They are gigantic. Their wingspans are going to give quarterbacks all sorts of problems finding passing windows in the middle of the field. I do feel duty-bound to point out, however, that Francis Mauigoa carries his 330 pounds extremely well. He's not slim, but he does not carry a lot of excess weight. He looks very natural and in good physical shape at 330 pounds. It's just how big of a human being he is. Dan Salamone, answering the question about Arvell Reese, also says, fact. That's what you expect from a player that was developed at Ohio State. I started with the Giants in 2010, and for a long time, David Wilson held this honor. The way he could weave and turn on the Jets always impressed me. But there's something about seeing a 6'4", 243-pound inside linebacker in the middle of a defense that should excite Giants fans specifically. Better yet, they have another one right next to him in Tremaine Edmonds. Matt also answered this with a fact. I went with Carter as my standout of OTAs so far, but Reese was certainly in the discussion. The rookie linebacker not only looks physically impressive, but he has been playing like it too. Through just a handful of OTA practices, Reese has already shown the ability to play sideline to sideline with his speed on full display on almost every play. I've mentioned this before, but Giants fans should be very excited to watch Reese and Edmonds play next to each other both this season and beyond. And those are the exact type of things that you want to hear come out of OTAs. When you pick a player number 5 overall or your first-round pick gets OTAs, you want it to be straight up glaze. You want to be hearing about how special he looks and how good he's playing and how he's standing out, how he looks different than everybody out there. And it sounds like Arvell Reese is doing that. And even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the pick, I am excited to see him play football for this team. And I'm hoping he turns out to be the best linebacker in New York Giants history. A lot more to touch on. We'll get to that veteran free agency defensive tackle workout. Do got to tell you, though, about our sponsor of today's show. That is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports pick app. It's available in all 50 states plus Washington, D.C. They also have new features available where you can make player, teams, pick winners, spreads, and totals as well. It's safe and secure. Billions have been paid out. And when you use that promo code HMA and you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in lineups instantly. I've got a lineup ready to go for Spurs and Thunder Game 5. I've got Chet in there, De'Aaron Fox, SGA, and Victor Wembanyama. You can follow me on Prize Picks with their new social feed feature at @MarshallGreen_. Shout out to Prize Picks. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Download the app. Create an account. Use that promo code HMA. Play $5 and get $50 instantly. I think one thing that there's all this talk about the Giants' run defense and it needs to improve, and I think it is going to improve. But I think the area of improvement was speed at the secondary level, like that second level of linebacker and that third level of safeties as well by adding Ardarius Washington and bringing back Jason Pinnock. But you're going to see Tremaine Edmonds, number 49, playing sideline to sideline. He's going to make some plays this year, still a really good player. And then Arvell Reese in his rookie year. Like, they are bringing a different level of sideline to sideline speed that, quite frankly, this Giants inside linebacker room has not had for quite some time. Appreciate and respect what Bobby Okereke has done, but he doesn't move like Edmonds or Reese do. And Micah McFadden, as good of a player as he is and as much of a fan favorite that he is as well, he just quite frankly doesn't have the God-given ability that Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese have. So excited to see those guys pop off the page, and especially once we put the pads on. Speaking of the run defense, the New York Giants are bringing in veteran defensive tackle Eddie Goldman, who played last year for the Commanders, worked out for the Giants today. A source said the 32-year-old started 6 games in 2025. Ended up starting a handful of games last year for the Washington Commanders. And with the Achilles injury to Roy Robertson-Harris, the New York Giants are once again a little bit thin at that defensive tackle spot. 32 years old, 6'3", 320, more of a nose tackle, but he could bring some juice and some strength and some run stopping and block shedding ability to this defensive tackle room. DJ Reader is going to be the starter. Shelby Harris is going to be a starter as well. Hoping for that year 2 jump for Darius Alexander. I know everybody got mad at me because I said I didn't think he played that well. He didn't. He did. The counting stats are there, but I think we're all smart enough to know that counting stats aren't the best way to always tell if a player is good or not. I think even if you asked Darius Alexander, he would say he had a little bit of a disappointing year, considering he was a 25-year-old rookie. But you lose Roy Robertson-Harris. You obviously traded Dexter Lawrence, and you really only brought in DJ Reader, Shelby Harris, Sam Roberts, who were not there at OTAs as well. Eddie Goldman actually was a part of the Chicago Bears back when Matt Nagy was the head coach there, so wonder if they got some inside information on that. It's been an interesting road. Eddie Goldman did not play in the 2020 NFL season. He took that COVID opt-out. Then he retired in 2022. Then he did not play in 2023. And then last year he spent time with the Commanders. And in 2024 he was a part of the Atlanta Falcons as well. Dan Duggan of The Athletic tweeting out, the Giants haven't put Roy Robertson-Harris, who tore his Achilles, on IR yet. We'll have an open roster spot when they do, with DJ Reader, Shelby Harris, and Sam Roberts not present at last week's open OTAs. No word if they've been practicing in others. The numbers are low at defensive tackle. We just showed you that depth chart, and they could definitely use some more bodies there as well. Art Stapleton saying that it wasn't just Eddie Goldman who went and worked out for the New York Giants today, saying this wasn't a solo workout for Eddie Goldman. Sounds like he was a part of a larger group with the Giants today, so maybe we see a signing coming in the next 24 hours or so. I'll say this. If the Giants do sign Eddie Goldman and he goes out to play well, I will say I'll be proved wrong. I don't expect much from Goldman at this point. And quite frankly, I don't think the answer to the problems that the New York Giants have at the defensive tackle spot is just out there in NFL free agency. Like, they just might have to make it work with the defensive tackles that they have on this roster. And when you play the song that the New York Giants played all offseason long, don't be surprised when you got to do the dance to the song. Like, you drafted one defensive tackle, you traded Dexter Lawrence, and you brought in veterans and DJ Reader and Shelby Harris, who were free agents late into April, and Sam Roberts is a flyer as well. So the position group I'm definitely still worried about the most is defensive tackle. We'll see if they can make it work. It's going to be interesting, no doubt about it. Appreciate everybody for clicking on today's show. If you haven't yet, give me a follow over on social media at @MarshallGreen_.